They are digging up dead bodies at Lighthouse Chapel. Right now, as I speak to you, families are being forced to exhume their loved ones from what they were told would be their final resting place. Dr. Michael Brown, buried 7 years ago, dug up. Lady Pastor Marian, dug up. Alex Kumah, dug up. At least 6 bodies, removed from their graves at the Ecclesiastical Garden on Lighthouse's Accra campus. And the families, they are paying for it themselves. I reported this to the police. They came, they investigated, and Lighthouse lied to them. But I have the evidence. I have the permit. I spoke to the families, and what I discovered about why Dag Heward-Mills is doing this will shock you. This is Dangerous African Confessions. Stay with us. Let me show you what they promised these families. The Ecclesiastical Garden, that's what they called it. A private cemetery on Lighthouse Chapel's Anacuza campus in Mampong, Accra. Beautiful, dignified, peaceful. They modeled it after places like Gethsemane Cemetery, Graceland, the kind of burial grounds where gunners elite rest. Manicured lawns, professional maintenance, a place of honor. And Dag Heward-Mills personally invited families to bury their loved ones there. You see, when this cemetery opened, Dag offered my brother and me the opportunity to exhume our own father from Mampong Presbyterian Cemetery and rebury him at the Ecclesiastical Garden. He said it was a dignified place for Lighthouse family. My mother, God bless her, refused. She said exhuming bodies is a taboo in Ghanaian culture, in Mampong culture, in most African cultures. You don't disturb the dead. She wouldn't even discuss it with our family elders. And at the time, I didn't understand why she was so angry. But now I know she was right. Because the same man who invited families to bury their loved ones in this sacred ground is now forcing them to dig those bodies back up. Listen to this. When my own brother passed away, we assumed he'd be buried at the Ecclesiastical Garden. He was the Archbishop. He conducted funerals there. He was Lighthouse through and through. But when Bishop Soki and Eddie Addy met with our family head, they told him something shocking. We are shutting down the cemetery. Come and collect your brother's body. Bury him somewhere else. At first, I thought it was personal. I thought they were punishing my brother because he refused to cut me off when they excommunicated me. But then I started hearing the calls going out. Alex Kumah's family called. Lady Pastor Marian's family called. Dr. Michael Brown's family called. And that's when I realized this wasn't about my brother. This was everyone. But here's what made my blood run cold. Dr. Brown didn't just want to be buried there. He left a video, just like this one, telling the world, when I die, give my body to Dag Heward-Mills to do what he sees fit. 7 years ago, Dag buried him at the Ecclesiastical Garden. And now, he's digging him back up. The question is, why? When I first heard about this, I didn't just sit back and make videos. I called the police. I dialed the police hotline and reported Lighthouse Chapel for desecrating graves, for tampering with burial sites without proper authorization. And you know what? They took me seriously. The police dispatched officers to the Ecclesiastical Garden. They arrived at the Anacuza campus demanding to inspect the cemetery. They'd received reports that graves were being disturbed. The officers met with 2 people. Number 1, the chief administrator of Lighthouse Chapel. Number 2, Dr. Kumah. And both of them looked those police officers in the eye and said the same thing. Nothing like that is happening here. No graves are being disturbed. The police asked to see the cemetery, so they took them there. The officers walked through the Ecclesiastical Garden. They took pictures. They inspected the grounds. And what did they see? Nothing. No disturbed graves. No excavation. Everything looked peaceful. Who reported this? Lighthouse Chapel wanted to know. They wanted my name. But the police said they received instructions from headquarters. They protected my identity. So the police left. Case closed, right? Wrong. What the chief administrator and Dr. Kumah didn't tell the police was that they had already made phone calls to the families. The arrangements were already in motion. They just hadn't started digging yet. You see, when Dr. Brown's brother contacted me about the reburial, they called it a reinterment, a word I'd never heard before. I asked him one question. Do they have a permit? He said, oh yes, they have a permit. And I saw a copy of that permit. You see what happened here? After I reported them to the police, the chief administrator knew someone was watching, so she did her due diligence. She went and got the proper permit from the authorities. Not because it was the right thing to do, but because she knew I was reporting them. And then the exhumations began. July 23, 2025, Dr. Michael Brown's reinterment at the Labodi Royal Cemetery. I couldn't attend. I had an appointment, but I wanted to be there. I couldn't believe what was happening. Lady Pastor Marian, exhumed. Body removed. Alex Kumah, exhumed. His brother begged Lighthouse for a letter. Just a simple letter explaining why he was transporting human remains. Because how do you explain to people that you're carrying your brother's body again? They refused to give him a letter. A prominent lawyer, exhumed in November. This was still going on months later. At least 6 bodies that I know of. Maybe more. And here's the cruelest part. The families paid for everything. The church didn't cover the cost of digging up their loved ones. The church didn't pay for new burial plots. The church didn't pay for the second funerals. The families, people who had already grieved, already buried their loved ones, already found closure, had to pay to do it all over again. Alex Kumah's wife came attacking me on social media when I spoke about this. Not attacking the people who dug up her brother-in-law. Not attacking the people who desecrated his resting place. Me. The person exposing it. And you want to know the saddest part? Her own sister was given the job of contacting families and overseeing this entire operation. But this isn't the first time Lighthouse has moved bodies around. In fact, there's a pattern here that goes back years. And when you see this pattern, you'll understand that this was always the plan. Let me tell you about Adelaide Turkey, the late Mrs. Adelaide Turkey, wife of the founder, the first lady of Lighthouse Chapel International. Her body has been moved 4 times. Count with me. Move number 1. She died and was buried in Winneba. That was her first resting place. Move number 2. They dug her up from Winneba and brought her to Mampong, Accra. They buried her near the bishop's residence on the Lighthouse campus. She rested there for a while. Move number 3. Lighthouse decided to build a golf course right where she was buried. So they exhumed her body again. They moved her from the bishop's residence area to make way for the golf course. And where did they take her? To the newly created Ecclesiastical Garden, the beautiful cemetery with the manicured lawns, the final resting place. But it wasn't final, was it? Because now, and this is alleged, so please, I'm telling you what I've heard. Move number 4. Her body is allegedly no longer at the Ecclesiastical Garden. It's allegedly been moved back to Winneba. Why? Because one of her sons has been excommunicated from Lighthouse Chapel. He's persona non grata, just like me. He's banned from all Lighthouse premises. Which means he cannot visit his mother's grave. So allegedly, and I emphasize allegedly, they moved her body back to Winneba so her son can visit her. 4 times. 4 times this woman's body has been moved. And I remember during those early moves, how hard it was for her husband emotionally. Pastor Koranki Ankara, the founder, watching his wife's body being dug up and moved around. But here's what I noticed. The decisions were always made above his head. He didn't have a say. The body just moved. You see the pattern now? This is not new. This is not an accident. This is not a one-time thing. Moving bodies around is standard practice at Lighthouse Chapel. When they want to build something, move the bodies. When they want to repurpose land, move the bodies. When it becomes inconvenient, move the bodies. And they do it without shame, without regard for the families, without respect for the dead. They do it without even covering the cost. But here's what I need you to understand. Mrs. Turkey was moved multiple times over years. Each time, there was a reason. A golf course, access for her son, logistical reasons. But the Ecclesiastical Garden. 6 bodies. All at once. All in 2025. This wasn't about making room for a building. This wasn't about family access. This was a mass clearance. So I started asking questions. Why is Dag Heward-Mills emptying out this cemetery? What is he planning to do with that land? And then I remembered something. I believe Lighthouse Chapel doesn't just move bodies when they want to build something physical. They move bodies when they want to build something spiritual. Every major spiritual shift at Lighthouse has involved disturbing the ground. Every expansion of Dag's authority has involved a ritual concerning the earth. So let me ask you this. What happens when you take a cemetery, a place where the dead rest, and you remove all the bodies? What are you left with? You're left with consecrated ground. Ground that has held the dead. Ground that has been prayed over. Ground that has been dedicated. But now it's empty. And if you wanted to build an altar, if you wanted to perform a ritual, if you wanted to establish a spiritual stronghold, you would need empty, consecrated ground. My question now is, what are you building on that land? Is it a hospital, a chapel, an expansion of the church? Or is it an altar? Because you and I both know that cemetery was not full. There was room for more bodies. There was room for expansion. You could have created a second cemetery on that massive campus if space was an issue. But you didn't want more space. You wanted that specific land empty. Now, I don't have proof of what he's planning. I don't have documents showing his intentions. But I have the pattern. And the pattern tells me one thing. When Dag Heward-Mills moves bodies, something bigger is coming. And whatever he's planning for the Ecclesiastical Garden, it's already begun. Let me take you back to something I said at the beginning, my mother's words. When Dag Heward-Mills offered to let us exhume my father and bring him to the Ecclesiastical Garden, my mother was furious. She said, exhuming the dead is a taboo. In Ghanaian culture, in Mampong culture, in Ekan culture, in most African cultures, you do not disturb the dead. When you bury someone, That is their final resting place. The word final means something. It means done, finished, complete. When we bury our loved ones, we are giving them peace. We are closing a chapter. We are saying, rest now. Your work is done. And for the family, burial brings closure. You grieve, you mourn, you cry, you bury them. And slowly, painfully, you begin to heal. You know where they are. You can visit them. You can lay flowers. There is peace in that. But imagine, just imagine. 2 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later, your phone rings. Hello, this is Lighthouse Chapel calling. We are repurposing the cemetery. We need you to come and dig up your father, your mother, your husband, your brother, and by the way, you're paying for it. How do you do that? How do you tell your children, we have to go dig up grandpa now? How do you explain to your family elders? How do you stand at a grave you visited for years and watch them dig it up? This is not just disrespectful. This is not just inconvenient. This is traumatic. This is a violation of the sacred covenant between the living and the dead. And the fact that Dag Heward-Mills can do this, can make one decision and uproot 6 families, multiple families, shows you how much power this man believes he has. Not just over the living, but over the dead. You owe these families an explanation. You owe Dr. Michael Brown's family an explanation. That man left a video saying, give my body to Dag to do what he sees fit. He trusted you, and 7 years later, you dug him up. You owe Lady Pastor Marian's family an explanation. You owe Alex Kumah's family an explanation. That man's brother had to beg you for a letter, just a simple letter, to transport his brother's remains. And you refused. You owe the lawyer's family an explanation. You owe my brother an explanation for why you told us we couldn't bury him there. But you won't give us an explanation, will you? Because you believe you don't owe us anything. You believe that what's yours is yours to do with as you please. Even the dead bodies buried on your land. So I'm asking publicly, what are you building on that land? Is it a hospital? Tell us. We'll celebrate with you. Is it a new chapel? Tell us. We'll understand. Is it an expansion of the campus? Tell us. Or is it an altar? Is it a spiritual structure that requires consecrated ground that has held the dead, but is now empty? Are you performing rituals on that land? Are you establishing a stronghold? I don't know, I'm asking. But your silence, your refusal to explain, your lies to the police. They tell me something is very, very wrong. And here's what I need you to understand. If they can do this to Dr. Michael Brown, a man who left a video testimony trusting Dag with his body. If they can do this to Lady Pastor Marian, a woman who served faithfully. If they can do this to the founder's wife, moving her body 4 times. What do you think they'll do to you? What do you think your final resting place means to them? What do you think your life means to them if even your death isn't sacred? This is why I make these videos. Not to attack, not to destroy, but to expose. Because people need to know what happens behind the walls of Lighthouse Chapel. People need to know that even in death, especially in death, you are not free from their control. If you are a member of Lighthouse Chapel, ask questions. If you have family buried at the Ecclesiastical Garden, call them. Confirm that your loved ones are still there. If you know families affected by this, reach out to them. Show them support. And if you're watching this video right now, do 3 things. Number 1, subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell, because I will continue to bring you the truth about what's happening in Lighthouse Chapel and other churches across Africa. Number 2, share this video. Send it to your family WhatsApp groups. Send it to your friends. Send it to anyone who needs to know what's happening. The more people who see this, the harder it becomes for them to hide. Number 3, leave a comment below. Tell me, have you heard of bodies being moved at Lighthouse? Do you know anyone affected? Do you have information about what's being built on that land? Use your voice, because the dead cannot speak for themselves. This is Dangerous African Confessions, and I will not be silent while the dead are disturbed and families are traumatized. May the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace, and may the truth come to light. God bless you. Stay dangerous.